whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Good morning. I'm going to have to get used to saying that now. Again, thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. Our first day of our new hours from 9 until 11. And thank you for everybody. I've been seeing all you guys in the chat room. You guys are not beating me here. I was already here watching you guys. But that is absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone here for our new show. Same type of show, but just at an earlier time, and I'm absolutely loving it. We do have a fun show coming up. Kim McAllister is here. We're going to be talking. We talk a lot about homelessness here in California. But is it fair for, I don't know, places where the weather is not as nice as California to bus their homeless here? Well, the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska, he's not hiding it. He's making absolutely no qualms about it. He's saying, yes, I don't want to see our homeless die in the freezing cold. Winter is on the way. Is this fair? I'm torn about it, so I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And then, obviously a lot of people like living in California. A lot of people hate California. And if you're leaving California, where is the best place to go? And I asked this as news comes today regarding access to maternal care. All you people bitching and moaning about how terrible California is. You want to talk about where we take care of our women, take care of pregnant women? Right here in the Golden State. We'll talk about a number of scams that are happening. I do want to touch on some celebrity news. Really sad day yesterday in celebrity news. Not only Paul Rubens dying at the age of 70, Pee Wee Herman. Angus Cloud. How many of you watched Euphoria? Anybody? I loved him in Euphoria. He was one of my favorite characters beyond Zendaya. And it's just so sad what happened to him. So we will definitely touch on that. I want to catch up with Kim. I'm sure she talked about it. I know she talked about it yesterday. But the T Swift concert and concerts in general, it was an amazing time. I can't wait to hear how Kim's daughter enjoyed the concert. My daughter absolutely had a fabulous time. And again, thank you to Murphy for finding that ticket for Marley. But Taylor Swift is very, very generous, and we knew she would be by donating to the Second Harvest Food Bank. And this comes at a time when, concerts, especially for the performers, are getting dangerous. Cardi B, I'm sure you guys have seen the video. Someone threw water or a drink at Cardi B while she was on stage, and Cardi B then threw her microphone at her. Now Cardi B could be facing charges, battery charges. I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll get into that as well. Also this weekend, I saw the new Barbie movie. I went with my son the night that my daughter went to Taylor Swift. I'm going to tell you my review of it. I'll a little spoiler. I did like it, but I also understand, not that I agree with, but I understand the criticism. The whole time I was watching this movie, I was like, oh, that's what's setting these people off. So we'll touch a little bit about that. Gonna have a little bit of fun also. Did you see the news that Ryan Reynolds is bringing back Alf? Any Alf fans out there? So we're going to take out our 90s kids and do a little bit of a quiz. We'll see how good Kim is at all of her 90s trivia. We'll touch on Elon Musk and SpaceX. Also, AI, another hot topic. It's infiltrating everything. Yesterday's news was, of course, women's jobs are going to be impacted more than men's jobs when it comes to AI. Now, last week, the University of Michigan Law School banned the use of AI for people applying to the law school. Today, ASU, Arizona State University, is saying, sure, use AI in your application. You just have to tell us that that's what you're doing. I would assume that everyone is going to use it. And then if we have time, I want to get to this one kind of parenting community question. Are kids allowed to be loud? There was a story that I heard about that really had me questioning it. If kids are outside and they're maybe, hanging out at an outdoor restaurant and they're laughing and they're kind of being loud, should you tell them to quiet down, or should you understand that they're kids? So we may have time to get into that. Of course, if we don't, we'll get into it later this week. Now, as we always do at the start of the show, please, you guys, throw up that thumbs up right at the bottom of your screen. Click the thumbs up just once. It really, really helps support the show, and we appreciate it oh so very much. The super chat is live, and yes, I did see it. Harry, thank you so much for the $5 donation to start off our super chat. Now, the super chat is a way for you to donate live to the show. If you want your comment read, also super stickers, you get acknowledgement from myself and from Kim, right? When you post it up there. You can also donate during the replay, and every dollar helps. So we really do appreciate that. And again, if you want to fully support this show, if you like the new hours, if you want to continue to see this show, please go to thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, click that Patreon link, and you can make a one-time monthly donation. And every little bit helps if you've already donated. And thank you to everyone that has. People are bumping up their donations because it truly, truly helps us out. This is a 100% crowdfunded show. And we don't put any ads on. I know YouTube does, but we don't put any ads on. This is basically our ad is to help support the show, and we really do appreciate it. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com also has links to our Patreon, also to our merch shop, TheNikkiMedoroShop.com, and every little bit helps us. Yeah, and we have a fun show coming up. All right, so let's say good morning. Let's raise our cups of coffee. I mean, I can't be drinking this early in the morning, Kim McAllister, but a good morning, my friend.
Good morning to you. I have my my coconut LaCroix, and I will cheers you with that.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Cup. I'm a Mrs. somewhere for hand-me-downs. So I have to have my hot tea, my sweet and spicy Good Earth tea, because I can't have coffee without milk. And my son took the last of the milk today. Well, thank you, my friend. Okay, so we have a great crew already here. Thank you to everyone showing up. Now, a reminder before we get to Kim's news, today is also the first day of the After Party Live. So you guys want to stay on YouTube from now all the way through 2:00. And that's when Kim will be launching the first show for the After Party Live. You don't want to miss the party, people. Okay.
I don't know. I'm starting to rethink this whole thing. I mean, it's 9:00 in the morning. I'm going to be on until 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a long haul.
She's like, John Daly, whose idea was this? Who's ever running this show, right?
No, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited about it.
And that's right after Mark Thompson.
I'm actually a little nervous about it, which is weird.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's when, you're responsible, because you mostly come up with the material for the show and what we're going to do. And and so when you're responsible for part of that, it's a little like, is this going to be good enough for people? Are people going to enjoy it?
You're an expert at it. I mean, you fill in for me. Thank you again for filling in for me yesterday.
Of course.
Again, I'm back in KCBS tomorrow as well. But Kim is an awesome host, and I'm so glad that you're hosting the After Party Live.
Yeah.
Long overdue for Kim McAllister to have her own show along with John Daly. So definitely check it out starting at 1:00 right here on YouTube. Okay, so we're going to get to some headlines. I still want to play, of course, the amazing music. And here's Kim with the news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about this morning, and let us begin with a federal indictment that could come down at any moment over accusations former President Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election. Grand jury is meeting in Washington, D.C. today after this week Trump predicted charges could come any day now.
So he's saying this, right? Like Donald Trump is saying, all right, my lawyers are telling me, brace yourself. in the back of my mind, Kim, all I keep thinking is brace yourself to donate more money to help me fight all of my legal problems. It's a cash cow for him.
His PAC, the Trump PAC, has forked over more than $40 million in the first half of 2023 just on legal fees. And I think they only had 50 million. So he's, his legal troubles are really causing his campaign to take a hit. But having said that, it's an interesting phenomenon now that the campaign has kind of become the crossed over with the legal issues. So all the publicity he gets from these legal issues, he's trying to turn it around and, kind of weave it into his campaign. And it's funny because yesterday he tried to get, Trump had asked a court in Georgia to stop the investigation into the state charges there, the state investigation over election tampering in that state. And the judge called him Rumpelstiltskin and said that he disagreed that it would hurt Trump because he has a Rumpelstiltskin type way of turning these, making these allegations or these investigations something positive. It's very strange how this all worked out. But I will say that last month, Trump said he received a letter from special counsel Jack Smith notifying that he's a target of the investigation. And those letters are typically sent when prosecutors believe that they do actually have enough evidence to bring charges against someone. And so that's why they're thinking it's going to be imminent.
I mean, can you imagine a scenario where he skates like nothing sticks to him? Because I can't imagine.
Doesn't he always?
Well, I mean, I think this is the most that he's ever publicly faced. I mean, I know that before he was a president, business dealings, lawsuits against him, that's why he got the Teflon Don type of nickname. Yeah. This is different though. If he skates, I mean, it's all over then. If they brought all of these charges and can't make any of them stick, that's it. He's done. And we're worse off for it, in my opinion, but whatever.
To the other side of the aisle now, Republicans are demanding the Department of Justice hand over information related to Hunter Biden's plea deal. This after the deal was placed on hold because a judge had concerns about the agreement. So House Republicans Jim Jordan, James Comer, and Jason Smith asked Attorney General Merrick Garland in a letter to provide documents and answer a list of questions related to the president's son's plea agreement. The three Republicans also suggest the DOJ is saying investigations into Hunter are going just so they can protect the department from congressional oversight. So this all comes after yesterday when lawmakers heard testimony from a former Hunter Biden associate and friend, Devin Archer. He was supposed to be this bombshell witness that was going to provide the links to President Biden. You know what happened? Didn't. A big fat zero. You know what he didn't provide? Any proof of anything. So they're going on, but meanwhile, they have no proof. And I say, if someone has done something, Democrat or Republican,
yes,
show us all.
Show us the proof. I think I read somewhere it was like, when Hunter Biden was there, he got a call from his dad. And everyone's thinking it's suspicious for a father to talk to their son. Give me a break. And you know what's funny is you would think Trump supporters would know about name recognition. I mean, look at who the former president surrounded himself, his sons and daughter, who had no experience being in Washington, and yet that was fine. And all of a sudden, current president, former vice president Joe Biden, taking calls from his son, who also was having his own issues. That's not proof of anything. A parent talking to their son is not proof of anything.
I think it was one of those cases too where he had his dad on speakerphone and he's like, it would be like if my mom called and you were in the room and I said, "Hey mom, Nikki's here." And you said, "Hey Nikki."
Yeah. It's like, you do know Nikki Medoro. Oh, your dad is Joe Biden. I don't think anybody's talking to Hunter Biden and is not aware of who his father is. He was a senator, vice president, current president. Give me a break.
This is a case that we've been following here on the Nikki Medoro show. Jurors will start deliberations today in what it will be the final penalty phase of the trial of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooter. Robert Bowers killed 11 people in a mass shooting October of 2018 at the Tree of Life Synagogue. That's not in dispute. The jury has already determined that he's eligible for the death penalty in this case. So the prosecution and the defense rested their cases yesterday in the penalty phase, and now jurors will be tasked with deciding whether Bowers should be put to death or not. So the case is in the hands of the jurors, and we'll bring you any information as it comes in. Americans, and we talked about this a couple days ago, but as of today, Americans will only be able to buy LED lights from retailers as the Biden administration ban on incandescent light bulbs begins today. The Department of Energy said LED lights provide more light using less energy, last longer than the incandescent bulbs. Any manufacturers who violate the ban, they face a max penalty of $542 per illegal light bulb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't sell a lot of them.
That's an expensive bulb. Smoke from California's biggest wildfire. Have you seen this? Wow.
The Mojave one? Yeah.
Yeah. It's impacting neighboring states now, the smoke. The so-called York fire has scorched more than 80,000 acres of land in the Mojave Desert. It is now 23% contained, so they have some containment on it. Fire crews working in extreme heat conditions. Temperatures are passing 100 degrees, and smoke from this fire is reaching into Nevada and southern Utah. No homes at risk in this fire yet, but yesterday on the Nikki Medoro show, we looked at pictures of the fire NATO and the smoke twisters that are forming in this fire. It's super scary. The California Department of Motor Vehicles is testing a mobile app that displays a driver's license on your cell phone.
The driver's license. I thought you
driver's
meant
license.
Okay.
Yeah, we mentioned that this was coming. So
yeah,
if you, leave your house on a run, but you've got your phone in your pocket, but you don't have your license, you've got your ID on you still because you have this thing on your phone, right?
Right.
2,000 people are currently participating in the DMV mobile driver's license pilot program. They are actively using the app and providing feedback. They're kind of beta testing the whole thing. There is no projected rollout date for the app as of yet. 9 states, though, are already using digital driver's licenses.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between this and me just taking a damn picture of my driver's license?
I bet it's different where, there are probably stamps on it or something on the website that shows it's official rather than just, taking some random picture of a, you can't see. But
you still need your physical you still need your physical driver's license to drive. I am correct in that.
Right now, yes.
Okay. But if this comes out
works, then you could have it on your cell phone and be like, doop, 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 doop. Yeah.
I don't know if I
I pulled you over for going 50 and a 25, and then I pull my license up and say, "Oh, I am a licensed driver, sir."
I mean, then there's also concerns about privacy. I mean, your phone could be hacked, and somebody could take your driver's license. I don't know.
True.
Something about, the hard copy. Although this does kind of ease my concerns. You ever right about to go on vacation and you lose your driver's license and you're like, I needed to get on the plane, or hopefully you have a valid passport or something.
You forget your wallet, but you do have your phone.
Yeah. So I could see it being beneficial, but we'll see
What if you're like me and you forget to put your phone on the charger overnight and then
that's me
you
always
get in the car and it's dead?
That's me always.
Yeah.
This phone, see, they tell you, Kim, don't keep your phone charged all the time because it drains the battery and it won't charge all the way, right? But then I try to make it go all the way to 0 or low. And then I'm caught without a charger or something. And my husband gets so mad at me. He's like, why is your phone not on the charger? I'm like, because I'm not supposed to keep it on the charger all of the time. I'm supposed to let it drain.
They say you're not supposed to use your phone in bed at night, right? Like it's
course.
bad. The lights are bad for your face
lights,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But I often will play words with friends before I go to sleep. It's just my way. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever been so tired where you're holding your phone in bed and of course it's over your face and you drop it and it smacks you right in the face? Yeah. There are times that I will wake up and I don't know. I must have been doing something, and then I just drop my phone, and it ends up I'm laying on it or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
I love
This is
you.
a little insight into my weird life. Alphabet, the parent company of Google,
Mhm.
reportedly ramping up its focus on integrating generative AI into its Google Assistant. So, according to a recent report from Axios, engineers received a corporate email asking what it would take to create an assistant powered by the latest large language model technology that Google's been playing catch up in this arena with since Microsoft and OpenAI started working together last year. So now Google doing this big push to come up with something.
Oh.
And you heard yesterday, we talked about it here on your show.
Hmm.
As quickly as that giant big old X went up on the rooftop
Yes.
of Twitter, of the social media headquarters X.
I'm calling it Twitter. I'm on like a ban. I'm just calling it Twitter. That's what everyone calls it. It's stupid to call it X, but yes.
It's like Prince. They say the social media platform previously known as Twitter.
Exactly.
It's now down. The X is gone. City officials ordered it taken down due to a permit violation. Roughly 24 complaints came in from neighbors about this brightly lit sign that was flashing like a strobe light.
It will give you a seizure for some people. And it's right across the street from these poor people who had to like see it constantly strobing. I feel like Elon Musk is not that dumb. He knew what he was doing. He got publicity for it. But I still look. People still call Prince, right? I mean, you could say formal artist formerly known as, and there was a reason why he did that, with the record labels and things like that. I think Elon Musk understands that people still are calling it Twitter, and he wanted some sort of attention, and there's no such thing as bad publicity. But that was annoying, even to watch the news reports about the sign. I was like, turn it off. I can't imagine living across the street from it.
And there's one thing if you moved in across from a sign like that and you're like, oh, that's cool, I like it here, right? There's another side. If you've lived there for a long time, you have not had experience with strobe light, like a disco ball going off at night, and now you're faced with it. That's super annoying.
Wait, hold on. David is writing in that X's new tagline is "Blaze Your Glory." Is that true?
Wow.
Hold on. Blaze your glory. Yeah, Twitter X. Oh. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, so Business Insider agrees with you, David. The app introduced its new tagline, Blaze Your Glory. Apparently it sounds too much like a Bon Jovi song. Do you remember that? Going down in a blaze of glory. Remember that song?
Well, isn't that kind of what's happening to Twitter? They're going down in a blaze of glory.
That is so true. Yeah.
It's apropos. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when Insider reached out for a comment, X responded with its now infamous automated PR motto, "We'll get back to you." So can't answer your question, David, but it's very much on brand for Twitter or X or whatever.
Well, now that they got caught with the whole permit violation thing, they're saying that this X was temporary anyway. Okay.
Oh, stop. And so what are we going back to Twitter? Is it a placeholder for a better idea?
It's still X, but I guess there's going to be a different X type of sign. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
Big day in Major League Baseball today. The trade deadline is approaching, so teams have until 6 p.m. Eastern today to make any moves for the stretch run to the playoffs. Speculation had been around where superstar Shohei Ohtani could be moved, but the Los Angeles Angels reportedly took him off the trading block last week. There's a lot of movement as far as all the players going on right now.
Well, and also just to remind everybody that football practice has begun in the NFL, and the 49ers need to re-sign Nick Bosa. That is all I will say, but thank you. Okay.
CVS is laying off 5,000 employees, and they are all non-customer facing positions. The layoffs will happen in mainly corporate staff is what they're saying.
Okay.
The drugstore chain said it's evolving to adapt to new consumer health needs and expectations. Wall Street Journal first reported the news saying the change is part of CVS's efforts to move toward a focus on health services. So
what?
5,000
you said
people
CVS?
CVS, like the drugstore.
I was so confused. I was Like, wait, what? And why is CBS a customer-facing company?
CVS.
CVS. Okay, thank you. I'm
Yeah,
an idiot.
where
Thank
you
you.
got your COVID shot, right? Yeah, CVS.
CVS. That makes. I was like, what does hell have to do with CBS?
Where you're in the city where you have to, wonder if the things are still on the shelves.
There
Yes.
you go. I'm telling you, everybody needs to move to online shopping. I keep seeing all of these stories. There was like this pop-up, this cocktail pop-up that got robbed I think yesterday or last night. It was really cute. It's one of those trailers and has a big sign that says cocktails. And I guess these two women run it. And some guy went in overnight and they had all these cute plants, pulling all the plants out. It was like an older gentleman with like a long beard. People are insane right now. But anyways, online shopping is just going to grow and grow and grow. Amazon has its has its earnings call this week. I think tomorrow. They're doubling down on same day deliveries, new facilities. They see it. It's going to happen. I mean, it's a solution to the regular brick and mortar stores. It just is.
Lastly, a story that you have been following. A
Okay.
federal judge in South Florida is putting an end to this multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against the Kraft Heinz food company. A Miami-Dade County woman filed the suit late last year, claiming the company was misleading customers about how long it takes to prepare Velveeta microwavable mac and cheese. Remember that?
I love this story.
So the company was accused of violating federal law by saying the food takes 3.5 minutes to prepare, arguing it did not include the time it takes to remove the lid and add the water.
Yeah,
That's
and to
extra
take your
time.
head out of your ass also. So stop with this lawsuit.
The Miami district judge tossed out the case last week, saying the woman did not have enough standing to follow through with a $5 million class action lawsuit. That's it. Party over for the macaroni and cheese lawsuit.
I feel like she should be fined for putting something like this up there. I mean, obviously. I mean, when do we start counting? Should we start counting when you start thinking about having macaroni and cheese? I mean, it's so stupid, and this is what gives lawsuits a bad name.
If they say it takes 3 minutes, it best take 3 minutes. Otherwise, false advertising, people.
I think it's the cooking time. I mean, the cooking. It's not like you had to, dice up anything. When you read recipes online and it's the prep time and then the cook time. Okay.
Sure.
It's the cook time, woman. Jeez Louise.
This show is crowdfunded, which means we rely on you for support. You can find us at the NikkiMedoroShow.com, Patreon link there, PayPal link there, and of course, this fine first morning of the morning show, the super chat is live. I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro Show.
Yeah, it was a little difficult. It wasn't difficult to wake up because I normally wake up around the same time anyway, because I would normally work out in the morning. What was difficult was just getting my mind going as quickly, because sometimes I'm like, all right, kind of clearing the sleep out of our eyes. But I thank each and every one of you. I like these new hours. It's going to be a fun time. And again, remember, stay on YouTube from now through Mark Thompson from 11 to 1, and then through the after party live with Kim McAllister and John Daly from 1 until 2. Okay. When I saw this headline, Kim, I was kind of flabbergasted. Now, I've maintained that if I was going to be homeless, okay, not that it's a choice that people can make, but if I was, I want to be homeless in Hawaii, or I want to be homeless in California, or I want to be homeless in a place in which it is warm, because, well, obviously it's cold outside. You don't want to be homeless in cold places. And when other states, colder states, say we don't have very many homeless here, no crap. Because either they die of exposure, sadly, or they move to warmer locations. Well, in Alaska, apparently, the homeless there, they don't even need to move on their own, pay to move on their own to warmer locations. Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson will move you himself. Taxpayer money, apparently, he wants to use to bus or fly, obviously, people, their homeless population, to warmer areas. So here's a little bit of the interview that he gave. And as you're watching or listening to this, tell me, does this make sense? Because I'm kind of split on this. Because if you're going to do this, then I do think you need to pay for it. But I kind of understand why he is. So here again, Anchorage Mayor Dave Bronson.
We have 40% of the population of the state. We have 65% of the homeless state populations in the state. Our taxpayers here can't keep footing that entire bill. This is a statewide problem. It is. We know Fairbanks sends people here. We know the Valley does. We know the Kenai Peninsula does, to include a lot of the villages. They send their homeless and some of their problematic people here. If that's the way it's going to be, this needs a statewide solution, especially in the funding space. And we need a much larger API, much larger. It needs to be completely staffed, completely funded, professionally managed. But we need a large shelter. And we went to the legislature last session for $25 million to build and operate a shelter plus some other things. And we're going to go to them again because morally, this is what's coming, winter. We all know that. I am not going to be responsible for people freezing to death on this street. I'm doing everything I can, literally. I'm doing everything I can to keep that from happening. We set a record this last year on how many people died unsheltered in the city. We're going to beat that. If something doesn't happen, we're going to beat that record this next winter. And so with that moral impetus for me, we're going to start giving airline tickets for people to go where they want to go. If they want to go to a warmer climate, it's far cheaper to give them $600
Look at that.
To get an airline ticket to anywhere from San Diego all the way to Seattle or to Fairbanks, or where they've got family that can take them, or back to the bush. I have no choice now because we don't have a large shelter to put these people when they need it at 10 below. We're going to give airline tickets to send people back to where they want to go. And didn't want to do that, never wanted to be there, but guess what? That's what's coming.
Okay.
Wow.
Initial thoughts, Kim.
I'm torn. Now, he called it a moral decision that he's trying to save lives.
Right.
But is he doing that, or is he just kicking the can of problems down the road and shuffling them off to another state? Well, if you don't have enough shelters, why don't you have enough shelters?
Right. Right.
And is the solution to offer you a $600 plane ticket to make it someone else's problem?
Mm-hmm.
Or is the solution to take care of the people in your state and say, listen, I mean, you don't just end up homeless in Alaska without probably being from Alaska, right?
Right. Well,
So
I mean, it's not like you're walking there from the continental United States.
They probably are from Alaska, have family in Alaska, what have you. I don't want people to die in the street either, but it's not the only solution. And he's saying, well, we need more money, we need this. And I don't want people to die in the cold either. How awful that would be.
Well,
but I don't necessarily feel like he's zeroing in on the proper solution here.
Well, this is the thing that makes me upset. So in May, Anchorage shut down a 500-bed homeless shelter. It was in the city's arena because that's used for like hockey games, concerts, things like that. This was after neighbors complained about open drug use, trespassing, violence, litter, all the things like. Unfortunately, we can't seem to get together enough when we create these places. And then a plan to build a large shelter navigation center fell through when the mayor approved a contract without the approval from the Anchorage Assembly. So that kind of fell through. Now, at the same time he's making this announcement, that arena, the Sullivan Arena, they announced that it's going to officially reopen as an entertainment venue, shutting down any suspicion that the facility would be used as a mass homeless shelter. It seems they're totally fine with bringing in tons of people that'll bring in the money, which I get, right? An arena concert venue brings in a lot of money to the city and to the area. At what cost, though? Now, he says it's cheaper. It's way cheaper for us to give somebody $600 and put them on a bus or a plane. Duh. But you need to do something more. If you're going to be so blatant with what you're doing, because it's obvious what you're doing, since you're in Alaska, you're going to have to fly people into other cities and states. You have to continue paying for them. See, we're a paying state. We send more money to the federal government than we get back. We pay a buttload in taxes, right? These other states do not. So there should be some reciprocation if we're going to take your people, because we've been doing it for so long. All of these states that bitch and moan about California, you like to take our money And you apparently like to send your homeless and your poor people here. And it rubs me the wrong way. On the other hand, I don't want people dying on the streets of Alaska either.
Right.
I don't want to see people dying on the streets of San Jose or San Francisco or anywhere. But you cannot abdicate your responsibility to the people you are supposed to represent, Mayor Bronson, simply by shipping more of them to other states to deal with. It's unfair and it's not sustainable.
And I will tell you, it's not like people don't die on the streets of California either.
Right.
I mean, you like to think that California is so, it's always hot here. Well, this is Northern California. And in the winter, it gets cold. There are some nights where it's 30 degrees, 28 degrees. And I know that's not Alaska temperatures, but that's too cold for people to be out. And there are incidents, well, not only because of, drug overdoses, but incidents of exposure that kill people in California as well. So it's not, you're not just fixing the problem by shipping them here. You're muted. Good morning, you're muted.
Sorry, I was drinking my tea. I was drinking my tea. I just feel like California it's just the butt of any complaint, right?
Yeah.
If your state is having problems, it's because Californians moved there. No, it means that the people that are set to run your state don't know how to change with the times. And I would say California hasn't been moving quickly enough to do that either with the amount of people that live here. But I just don't like the idea of looking at a state like California that, yes, has issues, but also is a huge economy and a driver of so many and protections. I'm going to throw this in because as people talk crap about, where to live and all these sorts of things. Look at this map, Kim. I don't know if you saw this story. This is where women can access maternity care versus places where there are maternity care deserts. All right. Do you notice anything about this map? The red is bad. Okay. The red is really, really bad. The red is where women have to travel the farthest to reach a doctor. They say more than 5.6 million women in the U.S. live in counties with limited or no access to maternity care services. Now I was trying to see where Alaska fits in, but the sign's covering it. But for instance, 46 counties in Texas, everyone loves Texas, right? 46% of counties are defined as maternity care deserts, and 20% of birthing people in the state received no or inadequate prenatal care. There are benefits to living in a state like California. We take care of our people. Yes, we pay a lot in taxes, but I'm just saying, if you're going to move someplace, these are the things you need to keep in mind. If you're going to live in Alaska, you got to know it's cold. You need to live with people. Lori makes an interesting point. If Alaska can increase their population enough, we'll get another representative in the House. I just feel like it's abandoning your people to ship homeless to other cities and states and then just leave the burden to that state. I just feel like it's completely unfair. I feel like there's a better answer. Build a bigger shelter, make the money happen. I understand that it's expensive, but you have to take care of people. You can't just give it. And I'm still waiting to see. I was Googling it, what Governor Newsom would say to the mayor of Anchorage or any, the governor of Seattle or mayor of Seattle cities. Or Seattle cities, of places in Washington. It just seems to me that if you are the mayor of a city, you take care of your own. You don't just try to dwindle it down to a number that is manageable. Idiot. Okay. So
also you would think in Alaska, there would have to be enough land where you could build a shelter. Like you could build I know you need
I've never
money
been
to do
to
it.
Alaska. Have you ever been to Alaska?
I have family that lives there, but I've not
really?
been. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so this is the stereotypical image that I have of Alaska. Yeah. Barren, snow-covered, and cold. I've never been. Yeah. So I only have the pictures that I see of whale watching and cruise ships and really
That's funny because I think trees, wildlife, beauty, but also lots of
Barren,
open
though.
spaces.
Yes.
Yeah, well, areas where you could put up, it's not like San Francisco,
No.
right? Where there's like land is at a premium. There's places, there's space to build something. They could handle this if they wanted to.
But do they have the tax base to do it? And I think that's also the point that he was making. It's, Fairbanks, Anchorage. Obviously, if you're the city and you're the place with the jobs, you're going to be the place where people go. And so people are there and they hit hard times. That's what they're going to stay and be homeless. Homelessness. And again, just to kind of bring it extremely close to home, San Jose City workers are striking today. And it's like all members. And one of the main things, of course, is they want a pay raise. You have to pay people enough to live where they want to work. Okay. And I understand that it's expensive, but housing is expensive. And if you're not going to do anything about housing prices, and this is my knock on California, if you're going to have so many regulations that slow down the progress of building homes, so much that the homes that you do have are so very inflated in price, then you also have to deal with the consequence of that, which is 1, homelessness, 2, people striking. And we'll see. I definitely think that the city workers in San Jose are going to approve the strike. And I don't know what Mayor Mahan's going to do, but he's got a huge problem on his hand. He absolutely does. So yeah, it's so complicated, and it really, really, it sucks, but we can't seem to get it together enough. Okay. I want to switch gears here. Okay. First off, did you ever watch the show Euphoria, Kim? Did you know
I
that
didn't.
show?
Mm-mm.
So this guy is Angus Cloud. He's 25 years old. He's an Oakland native, so he's from the Bay. Huge supporter of like Bay arts. He went to the Oakland School of Arts. So he passed away yesterday. I think the thinking is that this poor young man took his own life. His father, I guess, died recently. And he's always been public with his mental health struggles, but some people are thinking that this may have been enough. And that is why some people are being led to believe that he took his own life. Just really, really sad. Euphoria, Kim, though, is not an appropriate movie for Julia or any of your children to watch. It will scare the living bejesus out of you, especially as our girls go to high school. A lot of drug use, a lot of sex, lots of all that kind of stuff. Okay.
So I was reading about him yesterday, and of course you mentioned he's from Oakland, and that he says is where his heart is. He's wanted to move back, but I was reading that he was walking down a street in New York when he was discovered by a casting director for, I think it was Euphoria, and he laughs and he says, they didn't, it wasn't because I was so good looking they had to have me. It was because I looked like a drug dealer. They're like,
yes,
that guy looks like a drug dealer. He said, so maybe it's not so good I was pulled out of the, walking down the street.
He thought, am I giving off these vibes? Apparently I am. Okay.
But, and he got a lot of criticism because people would say, well, you're just playing yourself. You have this kind of gruff voice. This is how you are. This is, you're not really acting. And he would say, no, actually, I brought a lot to this role. That's not me. And it is just a character. So no, but he had looked forward to moving back. He said, Oakland is the most beautiful, wonderful place. It's where I left my heart, and it's where I want to go back to.
Yeah.
So sad that we lost a Bay Area native that appreciates it like we all do, right?
Exactly. I mean, his character was actually like a lovable drug dealer. Like he would look out for people. He was really kind and
a drug dealer with a heart,
right? Yeah. His character. So I don't actually know if you noticed the picture right here. There's it's not a good picture. On our right side, he has this scar. And I don't know how he got it, but in the show, the story is that he was whacked with something. I think his aunt or his mom had whacked him in a drug deal gone bad or what have you. But he was this kind person because of it. So he kind of moved a little slow and that sort of thing. Yeah. Anyways, great actor. But when stuff like this happens in Euphoria, even though it is not kid appropriate, is watched by a lot of teenagers because Zendaya is in it. Like all these people are in it. It's extremely, extremely popular. You talk about your kid to your kids about things like this, especially as they head back to school. I was talking with some moms just the other day, Kim, and none of us are really looking forward I want to look forward to it. I really, really do. But back to school, especially high school, is filled with stresses. And this is one of the things that you have to talk about. My mother-in-law texted me, and I don't know if you've covered this in your news in the past, the back to school necklace. Did you see the news about this?
No.
This is not new. This has been around. I think Urban Dictionary defined back to school in 2016. So if you see a text message that says, I got my back to school necklace, it's a noose. Apparently it's, I'm thinking of taking my own life.
Oh no.
Okay? So this is not new. Again, not new. But when stuff like Angus Cloud and when stories like this break, you need to talk to your kids about stuff like this. It is very stressful. And then last night, I get all the paperwork to sign my kid up for high school. And it's all the behavior, like this is not allowed, that is not allowed. And I'm like, and I went to an all girls high school, so forgive me. But different. It's different. It's different at a school where there's guys and girls, the horror stories that I'm hearing of what happens in bathrooms. Can give me heart palpitations. It can make me scared.
My sister who's had 2 high schoolers so far. I was talking to her. We had a family picnic to celebrate all the July birthdays. And we're talking about Julia going into high school. And she said, and she's talking to Julia at this point, it's a whole different world. She said, even in honors classes, there are kids, vaping pot in the back of the room, in the classroom. That in the bathrooms it was so bad that people were vaping and, doing drugs in the bathrooms that they put smoke sensors in. And the kids have figured out now how to disable the smoke sensors in the bathroom.
I'm hearing stories of children having sex in the bathroom.
Oh.
So there's,
Can we just homeschool them, you think?
This is why people homeschool their children. No, but so our school is beautifying an all gender bathroom, which I'm like, yay. And one of the first things out of my mom's friend's mouth is like, oh, great. That's where they're going to go have sex then, because it's an all gender bathroom. And I'm like, kill me now. And I don't mean that I don't mean that literally. That was a terrible thing to say right now as we're talking about this. But I'm like, I can't handle this. I can't.
Yeah.
The image of sending my child that I love, that's my baby, to high school is awful. And Sandy, you are so right. In the 80s, we had smoking sections in our high school. I feel like they should have smoking sections. It would eliminate smoking in bathrooms.
Was it condoning smoking though?
Yes.
This is where the smokers go over here.
Yes. But should you allow kids that are going to smoke anyway to go smoke in there?
But they're not legally allowed to possess cigarettes.
I love when you get your mom voice on. I love when you get your mom voice on. You are not legally allowed to be smoking. What if they are? There's some 18-year-olds in high school. Can they go smoke?
Go do it in your car outside.
Well, see, that's the other thing. You're not allowed to go out to your car. At least that's one of our rules. You're not allowed to use your car as a locker, those sorts of things, which I agree with. I don't want my kid, going into the parking lot or doing anything like that.
Right.
I'm not looking forward to this, my friend. I want to be, though. I'm excited. I try to focus on the electives and all these clubs and all the positive things that can happen in high school. But hearing some of these stories, and then, back to school necklaces and things like that.
Oh.
Give me a break.
Well, I'm glad you told me about that.
Just keep an eye out for it, because these things cycle. Again, I was looking at the story and they said Urban Dictionary defined this back in 2016. So this is something that, it's a text thing. And again, kids, just like I did a moment ago, and I'm like, oh, kill me now. People say things like that and they don't actually mean it.
Right.
But I feel like they also might be saying this as kids to kind of maybe get attention, which I understand. I still don't like, right? I still don't want that to happen. And as far as the bathrooms, I know I think my daughter, she's said it multiple times. She doesn't even want to go to she doesn't go to the bathroom at school.
No.
It's just like, no, my son, I'm not going to the bathroom. No, I don't want my son or my daughter to have to go to the bathroom and not be able to. But I also don't want them walking into a situation in which they feel extremely uncomfortable. Anybody in the chat room right now? I understand smoking in the bathroom. I totally get it. I really, really do. I was suspended in high school for smoking on campus. I get it. I totally do. That to me is like stereotypical high school BS, right?
Oh, your mother must have been mortified.
Dude, tell me about it. Not only that, I shared this story before. The teacher that caught us, we were not in a bathroom. We were actually like behind this wall on campus. And idiots, like you can't see smoke, but whatever. We were stupid. But I remember she was like walking and she held our snuffed out cigarettes in her hand and held it out for everyone to see as she walked us through the middle of campus because we were smoking. And the funny part that I always say is that she hadn't snuffed out one of the cigarettes enough. So it was like burning her hand as she was walking through. And so she had to snuff it out again. It's not nice. I was not a bad girl. I was a very typical. I was a teenager. I did.
You were experimenting, right?
No, I smoked for many, many years. And thank God I quit. I should have never
no.
started. I didn't quit smoking until after I had my second kid. I never smoked during my pregnancies, don't worry, but I always restarted.
Well, that's what I tell Julia. If you never start, you never have to stop.
And that's what I tell the kids too. I'm like, it is so hard to quit. It is so hard to quit. I'm so glad I think I'm almost at 10 years, if not 10 years. I should have the date on my calendar. I know when it was. I just don't know how long she's been married. But yeah, I quit smoking and it's not easy. And I wish I hadn't started, but I did. I smoked all through high school and I smoked tough. I was a pack-a-day smoker of Marlboro Reds.
Wow.
I was a smoker. And I'm very, very glad I quit. But yes, as far as that happening in the bathroom in high school, totally typical or outside. Did you ever hear about anyone having sex in the bathroom in high school? I'm sorry. I just don't think that's normal.
I didn't. I haven't heard of that. But
thank you.
I mean, it's been a few years since I've been there. So
exactly.
I don't know. But I will say that my sister's the one that embarrassed the family. Isn't this great? I love it when it's my sister and not me.
Embarrassment. I was just a bad girl. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
My sister's the one that humiliated my mother. The middle school, the junior high principal called one day and said, "You need to come pick up your daughter." Oh, no. She said, "Why?" She said, "Well, she was found kissing a boy in front of the school bus."
Oh, come
they
on.
Were going at it, sucking each other's faces off in front of the school. And they got caught making out. So my mom comes in and says to her, "You have humiliated this family."
Oh my goodness. It was, well, I mean, was it like
day it's a joke now that like I'll just look at her and go, "You have humiliated this family."
Well, okay. I mean, I guess if kissing is the worst thing that she did, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I didn't really have that opportunity because boys didn't go to my high school. But I feel like kissing at school, although I don't want it to happen, and I don't want it to be like all gross with tongue, like full on making out. Peck, I guess, is okay. I don't know. What would you? I mean, if the do you think the principal would call, or is it's appropriate for the principal to call and say, "Julia kissed a boy in front of the school"? Is that terrible? Is that worthy of a phone call?
I don't think they do that anymore.
They're like, believe me, please just kiss.
Like, please just kiss each other, because we're in the bathroom where some kid just took fentanyl, right? Like,
yes, yeah, exactly.
No. I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. Although, if you're really macking down on the other person and going to town, I think they have to stop it.
Well, yeah, but that's what these moms were saying, Kim, is that these. And again, I've never had a high schooler. So I'm new to this. I've never had a high schooler. And like my husband's more experienced with the whole public school co-ed type thing than I will ever be. And they're like having like sex. I'm whispering.
Whispering it.
Sex in the bathroom. Like that's and I am not a prude, Kim. I'm not. That is highly inappropriate.
I feel this way, Nikki. I think there is always going to be that case. And I could be wrong. Tell me in the chat, because I'm also a new to high school mom. But I think that you'll always have one or two outliers that do this, and the stories abound, and it's, everyone's talking about that person because it's so outrageous that they had sex at school. But realistically, most kids aren't going to do that.
You think they're just making it up? It's like the 7 minutes in heaven. You're not really doing anything in the closet.
Well, maybe there's somebody who did that. Maybe there's one, at least one or two kids a semester that pull that off. I don't know. But I don't think, I think all kids are different. And I don't think just because some other kid goes down that path, that it means your kid is going down that path. I think there are most kids that look at that and look at it with horror. That it's not the cool thing to do.
It's
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
gonna also say this. This is like the feminist in me. I feel like it's the guy. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like it's the guy that's initiating it, right? And
Yeah.
because I feel like girls just do these things because they really want the boys to like them. And obviously,
Yeah.
this is not 100%. I'm painting with a very broad brush, but I feel like guys are like, come to the bathroom with me, right? And do what I want, And it's not. There's no empowerment for the girl because I highly doubt. Not to be too graphic here, but I highly doubt if oral sex is happening, that it's happening to the female, right? I
No.
highly doubt
Mhm.
that's happening in the bathroom.
Right.
So let's just go into a dirty ass school bathroom. No. Now, Lori says we had vegetation on the border of the school for pot and sex. Lori, there was a little dried up creek that was just before the sidewalk where we would hide out and drink, smoke, and sometimes have sex. I guess I'm a total prude. And you know me, I am not a prude, but I just find this absolutely horrifying. Horrifying
Yeah.
that people are doing something like this. Vilma says, Nikki, you smoked in high school. You felt cool. True. You felt grown up. True. High school kids should enjoy the moment. I've been in high school. The world can wait. Sad fact, high schoolers can't wait. That's what I tell my kids all the time. Like we were talking about it the other day about trying to drive, right? Or trying alcohol. I'm like, and I literally had this conversation with my son just the other day. I'm like, you are only a child for a very short amount of time. You are going to be an adult for so much longer.
Yeah.
For decades, you are going to be an adult and you could do anything you want. You're legally allowed to do, within reason, anything you want. Don't rush it. It will come. And it just scares the living daylights out of me. It absolutely does. Yeah, I hope that this is an exaggeration. I hope that one kid hears that sex in the bathroom is happening and then it just like spreads like wildfire that everybody is doing it. But to me, it just it makes me really, really kind of grossed out. But the reason I was talking about all of this again is talk to your kids about everything that's happening, whether it's stuff at school, whether it's Angus Cloud's passing away, whether it's back to school necklaces and how prevalent that is or not.
Yeah.
You have to be engaged with your kids. You really, really do, because I don't want to, God forbid, anybody ends up saying the thing that they always say on television when a tragedy happens. I never thought it would happen to me. That's what you just don't want. You don't want those words to ever come out of your mouth. Before we go to Kim's headlines, this is also what you never want to come out of your mouth. Did you hear about this? The Say Yes scam. Have you heard about this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I love the fact that I've trained myself to never answer my phone. I like sometimes even if the name of somebody comes up that I know, I don't answer my phone. I'm not a phone.
I know. Every time I call you, it's like ring, ring, ring. I'm like,
well, you don't really call me. You text me. I'll text back. I'm a texter. You called me when you were at T Swift, but I was on a bar crawl bike ride. I texted you back. I'm like, yep, I am drinking and riding my bicycle. I'm not talking on the phone. But if perhaps you have not trained yourself to not answer the phone, you're just oh so very curious, don't do it. Even the Better Business Bureau is advising you to make sure you do not do this. Listen to this news report about what not to say on your phone.
The Say Yes phone scam, as the Better Business Bureau is calling it, is targeting people across the Bay Area. People answer an unknown number and are asked a question that prompts them to answer with yes. This is not a new scam. The BBB was first made aware of it back in 2017, but in the last few months, it's making another round.
With this type of call, it seems to relate to what's called robocalling. These are automated systems that does mass dialing to many consumers. And it's a computer automated voice that asks that question. It could be, can you hear me? It could be confirming who you are. What they're trying to do is get you to prompt to say yes.
Just last week, I received a call that said, I'm calling for Chris. Do I have the wrong number? When I answered with yes, they hung up. So it can really be anything. That's why the Better Business Bureau says to be on your toes when answering a call from an unknown number. Now, the real question here is what can they do with your voice recorded yes?
But what the concerns are is that the scammers or these marketing companies could use that word yes to identify that they agreed to sign up for some kind of program or charges to their credit card or maybe their cell phone bill.
So how can you protect yourself? Brian Oglesby with the BBB says don't answer any calls from unknown numbers. If you do pick up the phone and you're prompted to answer with yes, either hang up or ask a question back, but avoid saying yes.
If you receive an unsolicited call, you should be prepared to receive the call and say things, may I ask who's calling? What is this call about? And not respond to their question to you. Ask a question with a question.
Very good advice. Yeah, I mean, and Eric, I love it. Spam and robocalls have ruined phones. I mean, again, I am a texter. I love who said it. Perry Joe Jim Bob. Who answers the phone any longer? My voicemail says text or email. That's what I should change it to. I'm like, I don't answer the phone. Just text me or email. This could have been an email.
I have a question on this whole yes scandal.
Right.
There you go. They have my voice saying it there, right there. But if it's a scam, I mean, do websites really need my voice, your voice to say it? Who knows what my voice sounds like other than us, right?
That's
so
a good point.
why wouldn't the scammer just say yes? Do they really need it to be my voice? How is this computer going to know the difference? That's dumb.
That's a very good question. I don't know. And I don't know how, because usually that's another thing that I thought of is, for instance, if it's my bank, right? They'll be like, I need your PIN or the code that you've already approved, or, you know, all the other security questions that are probably out there a million times and probably not any more secure than your stupid social security number is. Again, the best advice is just don't answer your phone.
Unless Kim's calling, in which case, pick up.
Like,
hello, I was bored outside Taylor Swift. I was calling you for a reason.
Yay. Okay, so I'm glad that you mentioned that, because when we come back, I want to touch up a little bit on it. I want to definitely hear how Julia, and I know that you touched on it yesterday, but I definitely want to just touch on it. Also, speaking of concerts, remember when we were talking about people being hit by things and someone's like, Taylor Swift, better be careful. I was like, it'll never happen at a Taylor Swift concert, and it didn't. There's just certain, I feel, even though Harry Styles was, and Harry Styles is a very positive singer as well, but Cardi B, she had a drink thrown at her, but now she could face battery charges for throwing her. Well, I mean, a drink versus a microphone, probably not a fair thing, but I feel like this is the repercussions for a-holes that are acting up. I also want to talk about some celebrity news, some 90s news, and one 90s show that is making a comeback. All right, before we do any of that, you guys, please click the thumbs up button. It's right below your screen. Just click it once. YouTube loves it and helps other people find our show. It really does support us. We're going to talk about all that and so much more after Kim's news.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Oh, you know where we have to start this time around, don't you? Yeah, it's him. It's the former president. And
I hate that picture. He just looks like a scum bucket. Like, stop hugging the flag like it's your whoopee.
You know what I like? I like the irony of it.
Exactly. That is true. That's
why it's one of my go-tos, because it's like, how can you love America and yet try to trash the Constitution?
Oh, yeah.
Try to
Everybody's
break all
stuck.
the laws of the country. Like, the irony of this picture kills me. Okay. So the federal grand jury hearing evidence against Donald Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election is meeting in the nation's capital today. The grand jury could soon return an indictment against the former president. Trump this week predicted charges could come any day now. Trump last month said he received a letter from the special counsel's office notifying that he is a target of the investigation. So again, any day now, we're waiting for this to happen. Meanwhile, a new poll shows President Biden and former President Trump tied in a 2024 general election rematch. The New York Times Siena College poll shows both candidates receiving 43% of support from registered voters if the election were held today. Both candidates, however, continue to have high disapproval numbers. The survey found 54% of voters disapprove of President Biden and 55% disapprove of former President Trump. The suspected serial killer in New York will be appearing in court today. He will be in court this afternoon on Long Island. Rex Howerman is his name. He's being held without bail after pleading not guilty to charges connected to the murder of 3 women whose bodies were found in the area of Gilgo Beach more than a decade ago. That's Gilgo with G. Authorities argue they have DNA evidence and that they've recovered more evidence at Howerman's home. Howerman's lawyer has pointed to his client's lack of a criminal record while arguing that he was not involved. So
I cannot imagine what his wife is going through. Like, and his children. Did you see those pictures of them like crying? And she's obviously filed for divorce, which I would do as well. I my heart goes out to them, but then in the exact same moment, how do you not know? How do you not know this person that you've lived with, that you've been married to for 25 years is a serial killer? Like, it would blow my freaking mind if I all of a sudden had a knock on my door and someone's telling me, oh, we're here to arrest your husband. He's accused of killing sex workers 10 years ago. Devastating. I just totally devastated for this whole entire family. And it's horrifying what he's accused of doing.
I don't know how you don't know you're married to a sexual creep.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it's always in hindsight, right? That's what you often hear about these things is, oh, now that makes sense. Or why he had like burner phones and it's just, and then the locker or wherever that was found in his basement. How do you not know that's there? How do you not know what's in your house? I don't know. I'm not trying to judge the woman because you trust. That's what it is. You trust them.
And it was the wife's hair that was found on the bodies that led to his arrest. So, how dare he pull her into that when she didn't have anything to do with it?
Yeah, it's awful.
I don't know. The whole thing is creepy and weird.
Yeah, it's awful.
But back to court he goes. So that is happening. Let's talk a little bit about jobless claims because I was going to tell you. Oh, did I lose it? No, the number of job openings in the United States down slightly. New government figures show there were just under 9.6 million openings in June. That's a slight drop from May. The number of workers who quit in June decreased to 3.8 million. Healthcare and social assistance led the number increases in job vacancies for the month. So there's jobs, just not quite as many as there were, right? The company formerly known as Twitter is in hot water with the city of San Francisco. The city is now fining Twitter/X for a stunt late last week where a large illuminated X was erected atop the company's Market Street headquarters. The company didn't have the permits to put up that sign. Complaints started pouring into the city's building department about the massive sign. Inspectors tried to get into the building to see the sign over the weekend, but they were denied access. Now the company is going to get the bill for the installation and the removal of that unpermitted sign. Big fine. I don't know. If you can pay $44 billion for a company, you probably aren't worried about a city fine, right?
I'm just going to call it Twitter from now on. I don't like X. I mean, it's kind of, I know Meta is used. It's going to take some time. I feel like for as long as Twitter has tweet on its, they changed it. They did change it. Remember I told you that if you wanted to tweet something, you still had to hit the button that said tweet.
Yeah.
Now it says post. Now it says post. That's interesting. It's just boring, though. He's totally messed up the brand.
Messed up the brand. Tweet
and retweet, and he's such. Again, he's not a stupid man, but he's an idiot. Does that make sense?
No, it makes complete sense. And yeah, how you could dismantle, something that's so many people just use in common vernacular. I don't understand.
It's crazy.
Let's talk about the algae bloom going on in the East Bay. It is dangerous to marine life. It's been found in the East Bay. The environmental group San Francisco Baykeeper is confirming this reddish brown colored algae has been found recently off the coasts of Emeryville, Berkeley, and Albany. Scientists say this year's algae bloom is likely fueled by increased amounts of nitrogen and phosphorus that have been let into the water by nearby wastewater plants. A similar red algae bloom last year ended up killing massive amounts of fish around the San Francisco Bay. So, speaking of water, though, there's a Northern California surfing enthusiast that wants to bring the waves inland. Chris Gallardo hopes to someday build a surf park just outside the state capital near the city of Roseville. Gallardo says he'd like to see 1-foot waves for beginners and breakers of up to 6 feet to challenge accomplished surfers. The Alchemy Surf Park would also include a hotel, a beach area, and an indoor fitness center, a restaurant, and a bar. None of that will happen, though, until Gallardo acquires $100 million in funding.
$100 million.
$100 million. Oh, that's easy. No problem with that, right?
Right.
He needs that to purchase 20 acres of land and build his dream there. It would be the only surf park operating in California, because we don't need a park because we have the ocean. Surf Ranch is situated in the Central Valley town of Lemoore and operated by surfing legend Kelly Slater. So there are, I guess, there's only one surf park operating in California. So it's called Surf Ranch, and it's in Lemoore. There are at least 2 proposals, though, for parks to be built near Palm Springs, surf parks.
That's interesting. Palm Springs is so freaking hot. I bet that they would be welcoming any sort of place to cool off, although I wonder how they keep the water cold. Can I throw something in real quickly before you continue?
Just
about, since you're talking about water.
Yeah.
Because I like you immediately started talking and I thought about this other headline. Now, apparently there is a beer called Epic One Water Brew, and it's made with water that's recycled from shower sinks and washing machines. Would you drink that beer?
Absolutely not.
Even though they say it's safe to drink because it's, obviously gone through microfiltration. They've used ultraviolet light. No,
I don't see that happening. Do you see it happening? Were you going to drink that beer?
Here's my question. If you just said, okay, so
she doesn't answer.
Well, okay, so the beer, it's a cloche style ale and made with recycled water from a luxury apartment building in San Francisco. I don't feel like all of those things together necessarily make it a selling point, specifically the San Francisco, because you can hear the homeless pee jokes, right? At the same time, this is more environmentally friendly. Obviously, there's buildings globally use 14% of all potable water. Almost no buildings reuse that water. And that's what we're trying to change. So I just feel like if we want to do our part to help the environment and, save water and reuse water, and if they prove that there's no, nothing bacteria and gross stuff in the water anymore, why not? Is it just because it's in your head that it's not?
I feel like gray water should be used for plants in the median as you're driving down the road, or the lawn in front of the post office, but not necessarily for drinking.
But if they found a way to clean it enough, isn't that a good thing? I mean, wouldn't you say okay, if it's clean enough, if we have the technology, so we're not so wasteful, why should we water? Not that we need beer. Okay, so I'm not saying that. But why should we take that water and use it on unnecessary landscaping? Not food. I'm saying unnecessary landscaping.
It's an awful lot of trust that I have to put into their cleaning system to say that their quote recycled water, which could be, filled with human waste or, people's medication or whatever it is, that it's clean enough. Did they really test for every single thing?
Well, apparently the system is not intended to produce water for drinking because regulations currently allow potable reuse of wastewater in many states, and they're in the process of still updating their water regulations. This director of the Berkeley Water Center said recycled water is already being used as a source of drinking water in places like Southern California, Singapore, and Australia. They rely on recycling plants that are associated with sewage treatment plants. And it's an opportunity to save energy and reduce the amount of pollutants that cities release to the environment. I mean, apparently there's already 2 California-based brewers that make limited edition beers with recycled water in California in 2017. So this isn't a new idea. But Kim McAllister, you're a no. Okay, you're a no.
So I'm looking at it now, and there is a beer that's called Epic One Water Brew.
Yeah,
Is
this
that what
the
you're
one.
talking about?
Yeah, this is the one.
Okay, so this is, they say, made from recycled shower water.
Yeah, and
There it
washing
is.
machines and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's water recycled from the shower, sinks, and washing machines of a residential building. They say they have a series of treatments of microfiltration using ultraviolet light.
Yeah.
So I still am no. I'm a no.
If I handed you that beer and I didn't tell you, and then you drank the whole thing and you're like, it's good beer, and then I told you that it was recycled water,
I
would
would
you
be
mad?
like, never drink anything Nikki hands you again. No,
It's probably a good
never.
idea anyway.
Never
Okay.
do it.
All right. there you go.
Okay, so I want to tell you about this story. This is a travesty, is what it
A
is.
travesty.
It's a semi-truck carrying 40 pounds of chocolate.
Ah,
Caught fire Monday morning in Placer County.
this smelled good though.
Left a melty mess and traffic delays. The fire happened on West 80 in Colfax. Officials say the incident happened after the truck's trailer caught fire, became separated from its tractor portion on the roadway. The chocolate melted everywhere. And I think it depends on what kind of chocolate. Like, was it Ghirardelli? Was it Godiva?
Was it
the
dark
good stuff?
chocolate or milk chocolate?
Was it Brax, or was it, I mean, if it was some cheap chocolate, then I'm not going to cry over this. But if it was good chocolate, that's upsetting.
Yeah,
What
I'm not a
bummer.
huge chocolate eater, but
Mm.
yeah, that had to be.
See,
a
I feel
mess.
about this. It's like about how I would feel like if a wine truck overturns,
Right,
carrying
alcohol
the
abuse.
fresh bottled wine. The wine truck and the chocolate truck, don't mess with those trucks. Just leave them alone.
There you go.
They're going somewhere very important, likely to my house. So don't bother those trucks. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the lottery. The Mega Millions
do.
jackpot. Yeah, 3.5 months have gone by and no one has won the
Woo.
big jackpot. So now the estimated jackpot stands at just over $1 billion. Billion with a B.
$1 billion.
Yeah, and let's see. It's tonight is the drawing.
All right.
Yeah. I'm excited about this.
Are you buying a ticket?
I'm going to attempt to buy a ticket. Yeah.
I always say I'm going to buy a ticket and then I forget. I was literally
Yeah.
driving with my son on Friday, right? Because that was the last drawing. And I was like, oh, let's get a Mega Millions. I even asked him, I'm like, choose some numbers, right? And then I drove right past every single gas station and just drove home. And he's like, we didn't buy it. I was like, oh, yeah. And then it was too late. So I think about it. I have to actually do it, though.
Yeah. Well, speaking of money, this show is crowdfunded, which means we
is.
do rely on you. The NikkiMedoroShow.com, the Patreon, the PayPal links, all there for you. And of course, the Super Chat is live on this first day of the Nikki Medoro Morning Show.
Yes.
I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro Show.
Yeah, I love the fact. Honestly, I'm loving the morning. It's like,
Mhm.
but again, don't leave at the end of the show, obviously. Right
Yeah.
after this show is Mark Thompson. And then right after Mark Thompson is the inaugural After Party Live with Kim McAllister and John Daly. So yeah, there's a new lineup. So you can just hang out all day. And I am liking the early morning. I like starting we had the morning show on Station X, KGO.
Mhm.
And so now it was way earlier on KGO though. Not doing that early anymore. But yeah, so there you go. There's the new lineup and it starts today and I'm very, very excited. Okay, so how was Taylor Swift? I'm assuming Julia had a ball. Your text messages and your pictures were adorable. Now, I know you shared the story about how a listener was very generous with tickets, but how did Julia like her first concert? Is she going to bother you for more concert tickets?
I think she is. They had the time of their life.
Yes.
Their lives. I asked them when they got back in the car. So was this all worth, was it worth all the trip down here? Was it everything? They said, I've never had a better time in my whole life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they loved it. And they sang all the way to the show and they sang all the way home from the show. And I mentioned we had a family picnic. The next day they sang all the way to the forest and all the way home from that as
There
well.
you go. That's
they
awesome.
had a really good time. And what an experience for cousins to have together. It's just really good. All around good.
My daughter had a great time. She
Yeah.
might kill me if I show this picture, but I don't care. So this is the outfit that she had. Did I show? Okay, so
Oh, so cute.
So that's what my daughter wore because she needed to be sparkly.
Yeah.
That dress right there, $13 at a thrift store. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you, people, thrift stores, secondhand stores. I'll give a shout out to Plato's Closet. It's a really great secondhand store. You find such cute outfits there. But yeah, she had the time of her life, singing songs, handing out bracelets. It was a great concert, and nobody got hit in the face. Taylor Swift did not get hit in the face with anything. That was not what happened, though, with Cardi B. Apparently, in Las Vegas, Cardi B threw a microphone at a fan after that fan threw water on stage. Well, apparently, Cardi B can be seen encouraging fans to splash her with water to cool off in the triple-digit heat. She said that S feels good. And then she said other vulgar stuff. And then she told the crowd, so I cannot say what she said because she's using very bad language. But Cardi B, after somebody threw their drink up there, she said, I said splash my P word, not my face.
Oh.
That's quite vulgar. Okay, so she wanted it lower. She didn't want it in the face. Well, yeah, apparently she took her microphone, threw it right at her. But put the water and her asking for like literally to cool off to the side for just a second.
Yeah.
If I was an artist working my ass off on stage and people are throwing crap at me, you're going to hit a breaking point. You're going to hit a breaking point. Do you hear like Adele address it? She's like, just try it. She was like, I'm not having it. Do not throw anything.
Yeah, but then don't encourage people to throw anything at all. Yes. Don't say splash me with water. Don't say splash me with anything because you know it's been a problem that people are throwing stuff up on stage. So don't even go there.
Right. So now because she did that, now she's facing, and yeah, that's gonna get her. The fact that she specifically asked for people to cool her off. Yeah, Nick says, I hope the person was hit with the mic sues her. She is. She's facing a battery charge. She's pressing charges, although I also think she's looking for a payday as well. I mean, yeah, it had to hurt to get hit in the face with the microphone. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So here's my girls at the Taylor Swift concert.
Look how cute they are.
Yeah. So Julia went as the Fearless, I guess, with a flowery dress. And then my niece Ashlyn went as the red era. So she got the red shorts.
Yeah. My daughter was in the sparkly green. And so she was Reputation era. Yeah, look at this. And honestly, Susan, you're like my spirit. I'm not going to say that because apparently it's offensive to say that. But I'm right there with you. I would not have missed it and sent my kids. Really? You're a nicer. Believe me. Not that I was ever going to not let my daughter go because I was always going to let her go. But I wanted to go so badly. You guys know it. I was bitching and moaning about the whole thing. I really, because I'm a huge fan. I don't know if you're a huge Taylor Swift fan, but I'm a huge fan. And I really, really wanted to go. But second best, if we both couldn't go, was my kid going. But my kid goes to concerts, way more concerts than I ever went when I was her age, because I like going to concerts with her. And so then in LA is happening, and it's the last of her US. And then she goes, I think, to Mexico, and then she's off Brazil, Argentina, Poland. Well,
I've been looking at tickets.
No, so expensive. They didn't even drop for the Levi show, really.
I had a friend whose daughter is devastated that she didn't get to go.
Oh.
So I was looking, like her friends went, and then when she found out Julia went, she was like, "Oh, why didn't she pick me to go?" Right? And then I felt so bad. So I'm looking around, like trying to help my friend uncover tickets. It's as expensive in Los Angeles as it is here, but then she goes international, and in France, you want to plan your summer vacation accordingly. Tickets are only $400 in France.
Only.
But
still it's hell of a lot cheaper than here. Absolutely. It's a hell of a lot cheaper.
Better than $3,000 a ticket, right?
Absolutely. So I didn't go. I ended up going to see Barbie. I did actually a double feature, but it was not Barbieheimer. I did Barbie and Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
So
how was Haunted Mansion, did you think?
I really liked it. I really liked
Okay.
it. Let me start with Barbie though, and I'll tell Tim Sika is going to be joining us on Fridays at like 10:35, so that's always still going to happen. So I'll repeat it a little bit, but I'm just going to say this: Barbie is not a kids movie. It is not like a little kids movie. Like the age in which you start buying Barbies for your kids, that age, so much of this movie is going to go over their head. So much. Now me, I was weepy through so much of the movie.
Really?
Very, very female empowering. I'm going to tell Tim this. I disagree with Tim's, they try to throw so much in. I followed it. I totally followed just how they were flipping the script on female, women's power and men's power, and how uncomfortable. I totally understand why some men at the very least felt uncomfortable, and people like Charlie Kirk got totally pissed off about it. Oh, I totally get it. Now you get it. See how upset Charlie Kirk and everyone else of that ilk is about the Barbie movie? It's because you're getting it. You're understanding how women have felt, right? You're just an accessory. It doesn't matter. You're just window dressing. You're just told where to be. You're told you're the token. There's one of you, so that's enough. It's as if the point is just smacking them in the face and they're not getting it. I'm very upset. Yes, you should be upset. Ding, ding, ding. And so I just felt like it was a very good movie. America Ferrera, the speech that she gives, we've heard stuff like that before. She does an excellent job. And yeah, I thought it was really, really good. Julia totally will get it. My daughter, they're the same age, totally get it. My son is 2 years younger. Excellent conversation. So we come out of the movie and I go, "What you think?" I'm not even lying. My son, from my loins, right, looks at me and goes, "Well, it was good. It was a little woke."
What?
and so I stop, and he didn't say it like angrily. And so I go, "Do you know what woke means?" And he's all, "Doesn't it mean like trendy?" And so we had to have this whole, and you know me, let me educate you, my son, right? You would think that somebody that's been overhearing my show for I don't know how many years would be better educated on this stuff. But we went in between Barbie and Haunted Mansion out to dinner, and we had a whole conversation about it. And about the history of the word woke, how it's been co-opted by people. And then I told him, I said, "Listen, you can feel how you want to about things. Like if you don't like something, like if you didn't like the Barbie movie, if you didn't like how it made you feel, you can express that. I'm not going to get mad, but we will have conversations about it. We are going to kind of dissect that." And then I told him specifically with that word, I go, "When people tell you that something is woke, all I want you to do is to ask them what they mean by that." Because people just say things like, "Oh, that's all woke." Well, what do you mean by that? Because when you scratch the surface, what they're saying is, it's acknowledging something that is literally happening in society to people that probably aren't like me, right? So if you don't see yourself represented somewhere, it's probably because you are represented in so many other things. And so it was an excellent conversation. It wasn't I wasn't angry at him, but it was so kind of awesome on one hand, and so like, "Oh, you did not just say that." Initially, I was like, you did not do that.
But that's okay though, because that opens up the door for us, to talk about it. Yeah,
exactly. And then
Julia went to see that movie twice and said the first time she said that was not at all what I expected. She was expecting the Barbie movies of her youth. Right?
Yes.
And she said it was a lot of grown-up stuff going on in the movie. Then she took a different friend to see it the next day who wanted to go. And she said it was much better and much more understandable the second time around, and she enjoyed it. So
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I totally understood it. I was able to follow along, and I thought it was really, really good. Now, Haunted Mansion, so fun. I liked it. The reviews are kind of mixed. There was an Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion years ago that kind of bombed. This is not that. This is based a lot on the actual ride. Like you see things that are on the actual ride. Cool. But I thought it was really clever. I thought it was fun. I was entertained, and this was my second movie of the day. So, you know, it was kind of a long day.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 thumbs up. So I can't wait to see and hear what Tim Sika thinks about it.
So one of the things I was doing to you while I was at the Taylor Swift concert was I was in the car the whole time. So I was people watching, right?
Yeah.
And I was sending you pictures of the people walking in. And I have downloaded some that I took.
Very
Look at
cute.
these girls. They had their arms around each other and they were so joyful as they walked in. If anybody knows these ladies, send them my way. I'd love to give them this picture, but they were walking into the show. They had a long walk ahead of them and they were just giddy with excitement. You can tell by the looks on their faces.
Right.
A lot of sequins walking through.
Yep.
I mean, it was
shine.
a shot, and you can't. The pictures don't do it justice because the sun was hitting all these sequins, and it was like the parade, the shower of sequins walking into this place was full on glam. So that's kind of funny. And yeah, it's so more sequins, people walking in, everyone dressed totally, you know, with
and the cowboy boots were apparently a necessity, right?
Yeah,
it was
exactly. Anyway, there's a few pictures of
I
the
love
people
it. And
watching.
I'm so glad both of our daughters got to go. I'm really, really excited. And I'm so happy that was Julia's near her birthday, her first concert.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And you know, in both cases, it was thanks to our listeners, viewers here on the show. And so how grateful are we that you guys stepped up and did that for us. And I was saying yesterday, usually for the last, you know, more than 20 years, it's been me giving tickets away to people on the radio. It's the first time that's ever happened to me. So what an absolute treat. And I couldn't be any more touched and grateful, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, it's just a memory, right? It's a memory that these girls are always going to have. Sorry if you don't like her music, that's totally fine. But this is an iconic musician and singer-songwriter. Like in history, when my daughter has her own family and they are like, were you ever able to see, I don't know if Taylor Swift will still be performing, maybe she will, live, they can say yes. You know what I mean? I went to that concert. I went to that tour because this sold out stadiums. I mean, it is a big deal. And I'm so glad our girls were able to go. Speaking of memories, my friend, guess who's coming back? Back again. Alf. Were you Alf watcher, my friend? Were you?
I watched it a couple times. I wasn't like Alf overload, you know, but I didn't hate Alf.
Well, apparently Ryan Reynolds is really a big Alf fan. I was saying that Alf was the 90s, but apparently it was the 80s. Apparently he's going to be bringing him back. Well, actually just did. Alf is premiered July 29th as Ryan Reynolds' new channel, Maximum Effort. It's going to be one of the original series that they're going to be putting on that channel. It'll also, Alf episodes will air along shorts promoting sponsored brands like Mint Mobile, Mountain, and Ring. Ryan Reynolds said, at Maximum Effort, we love taking risks and blurring the lines between shows and sponsorship because we believe both can be equally entertaining. Besides my irrational love of Alf growing up, one of the reasons we licensed this show was precisely because Paul Shout Studios and our intrepid brand partners wanted to pilot with us to bring Alf back to life. That's Alf creator Paul Fusco is the creator, and apparently they are just completely obsessed. Anybody love Alf? I tried rewatching that show, and it doesn't hold up as well, I think.
It makes sense, though, that Ryan Reynolds would like it and would want to bring it back because the whole thing with Alf is he was sarcastic.
Yes.
Right? He had this dry sarcasm.
Yes.
And that's kind of the humor that Ryan Reynolds has. And I could see him revamping Alf in a way that's really funny.
You know what's funny is that I think Alf, the character, would hold up. It is that type of saccharine sweet sitcom that when I rewatch, I'm like, did we watch this every, you know,
Yeah.
TGIF, right? Thank God it's
Yeah.
Friday. These were the shows with
Yeah.
the hugs from like Full House, and it was
Yeah.
so innocent and sweet. And I guess maybe we just become hardened, but I don't know. I'm very interested. I don't have Maximum Effort. I don't even know where
Yeah.
I would get Maximum Effort. I'm assuming I could Google it, but yeah, Alf is being brought back to life. Remember, Alf loved to eat cats. I don't know if that's going to hold up. Maybe, like, yeah, maybe not. Eric says, I recall the series ended on the worst cliffhanger possible. If I'm remembering correctly, wasn't it that he went back home to Earth? Or not to Earth, to his planet? Something with an L. Malbec or something like that. I thought that was it. Sandy says, I never watched Alf. It looks stupid to me.
You're not wrong. All the shows from that era in the late 80s.
Why were they
cheesy,
so
though.
dumb?
Like, even remember Knight Rider with David Hasselhoff?
Kit.
And it's like everybody loved that show, and there was some cool things about the car doing all that, but the cases were, I mean, it's just so cheesy.
Well, like the A-Team, and it was just very kind of hokey if you go back. But there's also this, like when you watch it, you're transported back to your TV that didn't have a remote control, probably, and just a more innocent time. And maybe that's what doesn't hold up. Like we just
this pre-CSI dead bodies all over your TV. Yeah.
You know, exactly. Yeah. Okay. On that note, I said that Alf was the 80s, but I had this 90s flashback. How well do you know your 90s, Kim McAllister? How well do people watching the show right now remember their 90s?
I don't know. You're gonna have to test me on it.
I am gonna test you. Are you ready? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I have a few questions over here.
All right.
Okay. The A-Team was great, by the way, Calvin. You're absolutely correct. And that show actually does hold up. All right. You guys can answer in the chat if you know the answer. See if people can beat Kim. Don't look in the chat, cheater.
Okay, I won't.
Number 1. What was the name of the school where Saved by the Bell was set?
Oh, Westbrook High? I don't know.
No. Anybody? I watched Ferris Bueller with my son the other day. Anybody? Bueller. Anybody
now
know what
that
their name?
That I would have gotten.
Oh, dude! When I was watching Ferris Bueller, the number of lines that I know blew. Like my son's looking at me, and I would say it before they would say it. You're close, Chris. He's saying it was Bay Shore. No,
okay,
not Bay Shore. Come on, people, it's close.
Bayview.
Nope. John gets it correctly. Bayside High.
All right.
Bayside High. Okay, let me see. What actor who died in 2019 links Beverly Hills 90210 and Riverdale? Anybody? You should know this. Anybody that knows me, and you should know this too, Kim McAllister.
It wasn't Joaquin Phoenix, was it?
Beverly Hills 90210 and Riverside.
Oh,
Riverdale.
That was
Name the actor.
Perry.
Yes. Yeah. Photo walks. Jefferson Graham beat you. Luke Perry. Yes.
Yeah. I said Matthew.
Let's see if you know your boy bands. All right. Let's see if you know your boy bands.
Okay.
Luke Perry, by the way, my first heartthrob. I literally cried driving into work the day he died. It still gets me choked up. I don't want to talk about it. All right. Which boy band had AJ McLean, Howie Dorough, Nick Carter, Kevin Richardson, and Brian Luttrell?
New Kids on the Block.
Are you kidding me right now?
Did I get it wrong?
Oh my God. How dare you? That is, are you serious? Are you serious? Did you literally think that was 90210? Not New Kids on the Block? You are insane. You are absolutely insane. Who was first? Who was first?
I don't know.
Janet. It's the
Backstreet Boys.
Come on, man.
Clearly my 90s trivia is not up to snuff.
Okay, this is a good one. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Everything I Do It For You, featured on the soundtrack of which film?
That was Robin Hood.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Good job. You got one, I think. Let's see.
You got one.
Which girl's toy provided Aqua with her number one in 1997? Come on.
Aqua.
Which girl's toy provided Aqua with her number one in 1997? Anybody? Anybody? It was Barbie Girl.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is food related. All right. Okay. What snack was best used to put on your fingers and make fingernails? Do you remember what they were called?
We did that with olives.
No, well, okay. That's a snack, I guess. It's a crunchy snack. They fit on your fingernails.
Are those the pointy ones? The
Do you remember? Yeah.
What are
Tony
they called?
and Antonio.
Flugelheimers?
Tony
Bugles,
beat
yeah.
you. Bugles. Remember?
Yeah.
All right, how many more do I have here? Okay, let's see.
I'm not doing very well.
You're not doing very well.
No.
What candy was the fresh maker?
Mentos.
There you go. Okay, let's see here.
And the guy had a wasn't kind of German accent. Mentos, the fresh maker.
The fresh maker. Okay.
Yeah.
Which soap aired a plane crash in 1993? I did not know this one. This is like out of left field. Apparently, there was a soap that aired a plane crash in 1993.
Was it General Hospital?
No, it's not a. It's not a. Well, I've never heard of this, and so maybe that's not a fair question. Does anybody remember? Phineas? No, Fresh Maker is not Irish Spring. That was not it. That was not it. No, it's not Who Killed JR. And I don't know this one. Emmerdale. Have you ever heard of Emmerdale? I've never heard that at all. Do I have time for one more? Let's see. Oh, here's another one that I didn't really know. On which kids show did the character Pierre Escargot appear? Any of my Gen Xers?
I should know that. It sounds really familiar.
Pierre Escargot. I've never heard of this. It's a kids show. Anybody?
Was it Sesame?
No,
they wouldn't have been that racist.
It's in my opinion, it's not a well-known.
Not racist, but country-ish. I don't know what you call that.
No, it was called All That. Have you ever heard of a kids show called All That?
I think it was on right when they had the kids news on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. And I think it was one of those shows, like one of those topical news kids shows.
Yeah.
I think that's where it was. I remember Pierre Escargot. Yeah.
Opal Fruits changed their name to what in
Fruit
1998? No, not Fruit Roll Up. Opal Fruits. Anyone? Bueller? This person knew it. That's really good.
Les.
I know, right? Les, good job on you. He knew all that. Opal Fruits changed their name to what in 1998? I didn't know Opal Fruits. I've never heard of Opal Fruits. Not Gushers, Nick. Not Gushers. Not Snapple.
Starbucks?
No.
I mean, Star, what is it? Squishy. Star, help me.
I can't believe you can't figure it out. You're right. You're right. What is the name of the candy that starts with star, Kim? What is it? Star.
I'm having dementia at an early
there
age.
We go. Calvin's like Starburst.
Thank you.
You know what? You would not do well on a timed game show on television.
Starbucks. Once I had Starbucks in my brain, Starburst wasn't coming.
It wasn't Star Kiss, although Star Kiss was actually a pretty good answer. All right, so I just did some 90s trivia. I think we're gonna have to figure out some fun little trivia games to do some mornings because that was but Nick's like, that's tuna, John. Star Kiss is tuna. No fruit is involved in the making of this, but yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the old is new again, as it is. And the other reason I wanted to bring up the 90s, it's back to school shopping time. It's August 1st, back to school shopping. Anybody getting flashbacks of the 90s clothing?
Everything comes around again, doesn't it? Skinny
jeans are out, and this is what I love. Baggy jeans are in. So I was the epitome of baggy jeans.
Yeah.
Tight top. That was it. Or the baby doll dresses with the t-shirt underneath. I would have long ones and short ones and everything like that. Yeah, apparently. I'm glad that the skinny jeans are out, even though I have a ton of skinny jeans in my closet. I'm glad that that's out. But yeah, I got to go school shopping. Do you have a favorite store that you like to bring Julia?
Last year, she asked me for a pair of mom jeans. I said, what?
Yeah, that's in. Boyfriend jeans, mom jeans.
Mom
Absolutely.
jeans. Okay, mom jeans. All right, whatever you want. She likes to go to American Eagle.
Okay.
And her favorite store, though we can't afford to shop there, is Lululemon.
Oh God, you cannot afford to shop there.
I can't afford to shop there. It's like $118 for a pair of leggings, and I refused.
Exactly.
But all the, like the cool girls are wearing that, and I just can't do it.
Okay, so
I'm not going to spend that much money. It's so like, I don't know.
There are dupes out there. There are dupes.
Yeah.
And I know, whatever. But my sister-in-law, like, I haven't gone because I instill in my kids, like, you don't need that and my whatever. But I know people love their Lululemons, and I'm not knocking Lululemons. But if you don't have enough money to spend on one pair of leggings, if you go on Facebook, apparently there are a number of groups, and my sister-in-law is part of one in Arizona where, and I guess it's probably they're getting them from China or something, but they make dupes, and it looks just like it. It has a little symbol on the back, and you get it for a fraction of the cost.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if you want to do something like that. I'm just saying, if your kid wants it and needs that little symbol, my opinion, who cares? My friend just spent $45 on a Lululemon sports bra, which I actually thought was pretty decent because you use the crap out of your sports bras.
Well, that's different if it's a sports bra, but for a pair of leggings, or I just feel like it's $120 for a sweatshirt. I'm not doing that.
No. Cross colors? Is that a brand of clothing, Tony? Nick says corduroy pants. I like corduroy pants. I still do. The only thing that sucks about corduroy pants is they can hear you coming, right? It's all whoosh, 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 whoosh. And it's not good for still summertime. I didn't know this. Key Music is saying Kenan Thompson was on all that. I did not know that. I never have heard that show before at all. Lynn says there's a Lululemon outlet in Gilroy. If you want to drive your ass all the way down to my neck of the woods. I wonder if it's cheaper. Remember there used to be, a Spree or a Spirit, as my mom
there used to be a Spree outlet in San Francisco, like in the fashion district.
Yeah. I remember I went there with my mom one year. It was all about a Spree. Apparently he's saying those were pants. Cross color were pants. Gemco. Did anyone have Gemco jeans? Mm-mm. Those were the gigantic baggy jeans. JMCO, Gemco jeans. I never had a pair of those, but those were extremely in. Murphy. Thank you again, Murphy. I adore you and I love you. Thank you. Yep. She's like, I totally went to the Esprit outlet for birthday shopping when I turned 15. Probably the same. Yeah. There's one in Gilroy. I can still see it. They give you a little
plastic, like a bag, like a little basket. You fill it up with stuff. And they had one room that was like you would try everything on in public with all the other ladies that were in there.
Yeah.
And also as the Esprit outlet, you'd go there and then you'd go to the Gunny Sacks outlet in the city.
I've never been to a Gunny Sack.
You'd go for lunch in the city. Yeah, Gunny Sacks. You don't know?
What is that? Is that a clothing store?
Like it's old like gowns, dresses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You don't know what Gunny Sacks is?
No.
Oh,
I liked okay, so if I'm gonna go back, Contempo Casuals. Anybody go to Contempo Casuals? That was one of my stores. Then you look at stores that are still around, like PacSun is still around, right? There's some what is the other one called? Express. I don't know if it goes back as far as, let's say Contempo Casual, but Express and now Express for Men. Perry's like, my wallet requests Walmart brands. I don't shop at Walmart, but I get your feeling. Then nowadays, though, remember when Target used to be the place to go shopping because they had it? Now you can't go to Target, Kim, because
why?
Everybody shops at Target. So if you get it, someone's going to wear the same t-shirt, the same clothes as you. So it's very, very difficult. There's a mall, or there's a store at Valley Fair Mall called Garage, which has kind of hip, cool clothes. But yeah, you got to kind of figure out what's hip. I don't know how much my daughter's going to care. I just want to make sure that she has something cute to wear on her first day of school.
There's the cast of all that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Never in a million years have I ever seen that. Never in a million years have I seen that. Outfitters. What was it? What was the Outfitters store that was very popular? Outfitters. There was another store that's bringing me back, and my brain is brain farting like Kim was with Starburst. But there was one of those stores.
Urban Outfitters?
Not Urban Outfitters. It was something like that. Something with an M. Oh, what were your guys' favorite stores? Tennis shoes called BK Nights. I remember those. Z Cavaricci's. My brother always got Z Cavaricci's. Not Urban Outfitters. Maybe I'm getting it. Something with an M. I want to say maybe it wasn't Outfitters. It was something that I can't remember it right now. Brandy Melville was popular. All right. Yeah, Urban Outfitters is definitely newer. It's going to bother me. I'm going to have to go back and Google it. But there was this one store that I would always go to all the time when I was a kid, and it kind of had the jeans and the t-shirts and things like that. Big Dog t-shirts, Eric says. Yeah.
I remember Big Dog. Yeah.
There's a lot of brands that didn't last as long, but yeah, Contempo Casuals was my store. I love that. Now there's so many stores when I walk through something like Valley Fair.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. I don't mind Marshalls, but it's definite, or TJ Maxx, but it's definitely one of those stores where you got to hunt for it. Now, I was talking about my daughter's dress that she wore for Taylor Swift. Plato's Closet. It's one of those secondhand stores where you can sell your clothes, but they have to be hip, right? They have to be in. They're not going to buy my clothes, that I don't want to wear anymore. It's definitely has to be with the times. Oh, Mervyn's. I'm not thinking of Mervyn's. I don't know why I think it's with an M, but remember Mervyn's open.
God, I spent so much time in Mervyn's trying stuff on. My mom would take us there every year.
Yeah. Because it was like right there. There was like Kmart, obviously, and Kmart made a bit of a comeback. Thank you. Miller's Outpost. Thank you, Jim. Outpost. Thank you. Miller's Outpost. That is what I was thinking of. Thank you. I love our listeners because it was going to bother me all freaking day. Miller's Outpost I would go to all of the time. I liked that store a lot. I really, really did.
So,
yeah.
Oh.
What?
Gunny Sacks was, I want to say it was linked with Jessica McClintock.
Oh, I know Jessica McClintock. Yeah, I definitely know that.
Yeah.
That was where you got your prom dresses. And
yeah.
Now I look at these prom dresses that these girls wear. I mean, I remember I had one, I think it was a Jessica McClintock dress. It was purple. It was all swooshy. It was all scrunchy. And it had kind of like the off the shoulder with like the elastic over the shoulder this way. And then it kind of had the so 80s, 90s. Like it was just awful. And I wore the crap out of that dress. I wore it to my dances. And then when my friends went to high school in the early 90s, I would go with some of my friends to those. Yeah, absolutely. Miller's Outpost though. Yeah. Jemco, I'm old. Jim writes in. Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyways, tomorrow is that a Gunny Sack?
That's our Gunny Sacks dresses. Yeah.
I feel like you can find that at Target right now.
It's back.
Target has been having these like kind of farmer girl type dresses lately.
Yeah.
Now they're into sequins. I think they did that for Taylor Swift. And what's funny is, speaking about like, don't shop at Target because everyone shops at Target kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you want something original, I swear when I was looking through some people's Taylor Swift, I was like, oh, you got that at Target. Oh, you got that at Target. Oh, you got that at Target. Could totally see it.
So because we were gifted the tickets, Julia splurged at the Taylor Swift merch stand.
What did she get?
She got 2 sweatshirts and they're like, $75, $80 each. Yeah. And a t-shirt. By the time they got to the end of at the end of the line, there were only big t-shirts like 2X's and 3X's.
Right.
And these girls are not that size.
No.
But she bought them anyway.
Funny.
It's funny. So, but I guess a lot of the Taylor Swift merchandise you can get online.
So that's what we did. So Marley did not go because you stayed with the girls that she went with.
Yeah.
And so she didn't go and up the merch line. For 2 days, they were selling it beforehand. And it was really, really long. And so I got an email. I don't know if it's still going up, but it was, I think, 15% off online merch. And so I got Marley the blue crew neck sweatshirt because she wanted the sweatshirt. And it was $60 with the discount.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's already on its way. So she'll have
Yeah.
something to wear. I think it's probably going to be too hot to wear it on the
So I
first day of
said, "Are
school.
you gonna wear a Taylor Swift sweatshirt every day of high school? Like, you've got the shirts, you've got the sweatshirt." She's like, "Why
Right.
not?"
Why not? Exactly. She
Uh,
has all of it. And it was her first concert. And then everybody
mhm.
knows that you were lucky enough to go.
Yeah.
Les mentions Payless shoes. Payless just went away, but God, do I miss it. Any other parent miss going through kids' shoes and going to Payless and just
Yes,
picking up a
such
cheap pair?
cheap shoes, though. Like, not very good quality. I remember
No, but
blisters. So many blisters from those shoes.
no, but like tennis shoes, you could buy a pair of tennis shoes. They were decent. And as fast as your kids'
Yeah.
feet grow, by the time you grew out of them, I don't know. Payless shoe store saved my ass so many times when the kids were young and they had a hole in their shoe. And I'm like,
Yeah.
we got to go get some shoes. They're gone.
Yeah.
Service merchandise. That's unlocking a memory. Also,
I don't know that one.
yes, they used to have the books too, that used to come home. What else had the big book? That they
Sears?
would not only Sears, there was
JC
another one.
Penney's?
JC Penney's would send you a good one, but
Mhm.
JC Penney still exists. Tommy Hilfiger was hot in the 90s. That's true. No. Oh, she has Lori has a styling idea. Pair a belt with a large t-shirt, leggings, and the cowboy boots for a look.
Oh,
That
okay.
actually sounds pretty cute. That actually does. Absolutely does. All right. Hey, you guys, click the thumbs up button and don't click away from YouTube. All right. Now I'm going to be in KCBS tomorrow. Kim, you're going to be here in the morning.
I'll be here.
We'll be here. And then I'll be back on Thursday. And do you know who's going to be making a comeback and giving us an update? Do you remember Melissa Temple? Melissa Temple was that Wisconsin teacher who was facing criticism because she wanted to teach her students were going to sing Rainbow Land by Dolly Parton. And all the parents were in an uproar. Well, yeah, they followed through. They never stopped complaining about her so much that she's been fired. So she's going to be coming on with us, kind of laying out what happened, how this happened. I want to know, is she going to stay? Is she going to stay in the profession? My heart breaks. It absolutely breaks when I hear about teachers, especially, older teachers that have been in the profession for years and years and years, and younger teachers who are so passionate as well and know everything that's going on and still enter the profession. So Thursday, she's going to be joining us pretty close to the top of the show. So you won't want to miss that conversation. And again, Jefferson Graham is going to be back.
Awesome.
He's on this amazing road trip. So he's going to join us on Thursday as well. Don't worry. Tim Seek is going to be with us on Friday to talk about everything, movies and streaming and everything like that.
Yeah.
God, I love all of these things. The comment section is amazing, you guys. Please, everybody in the comment section right now, click the thumbs up button. Right now, just look at your phone or look at your computer and hit that thumbs up button just once. It really helps the show. The super chat is live. It's a way to donate live to the show. Harry was the first one to donate to our show. Thank you for the $5 donation, Harry. You can also donate during the replay, which we really do appreciate. And we had a lot of new listeners that love the new hours.
Oh, cool.
And so thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to continue seeing our show, especially right here in the morning to start off the whole day of Station Xers, go to thenikkimedoroshow.com and become a Medorable. That's an official Medorable. Sign up for a monthly Patreon subscription to our show. It helps us. We're 100% crowdfunded. We don't have any ads. We are just 100% crowdfunded. And we take any amount. I know that some Patreons, you have to donate a certain amount before you can subscribe. If $5 a month is all you can afford, $5 a month is all you can afford. If you can bump it up or you can donate more once a month, please do, because we truly, truly do appreciate it. So again, thenikkimedoroshow.com. There are links to past shows. There's the link to the podcast. If you can't watch the show and you just can listen to it, our podcast is there as well. PayPal donations, the merch shop, thenikkimedoroshop.com. It is up there as well. And we really, really do appreciate each and every one of you for being here.
I'm going to put the Mark Thompson show link. If you've never seen the Mark Thompson show, Follow us there. Mark Thompson's show starts now, and I'll post the link here in the chat so you can click on that and get to the Mark Thompson show.
Yeah, and then right after that, after Mark Thompson goes from 11 to 1, stay on YouTube and click over to the After Party Live with Kim McAllister. John Daly will be there. It's 1 hour. It's a great wrap up of the day. So we're here from 9 until 2. Just stay. I was going to say KGO. Stay with YouTube.
Stay with that station. No,
that station sucks. No, stay with us. Stay right here. And yes, go to Mark Thompson, then go to the after party. And we'll be right back here tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. And bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.